Welcome back to Piers Morgan Uncensored. Me, Rosanna Lockwood, in the chair tonight. I'm joined by the pack in the studio, the Monday Night Pack, Associate Editor of The Mirror, Kevin Maguire, Talk TV contributor Esther Krakow, and socialist and author Grace Blakely. Rejoins us, all of you. It's been an interesting show so far. I think it's fair to say women have been in charge. And even Kevin O'Leary was a pussycat, Grace.
I know, I was so surprised. I was really ready to have a fight with my voice completely gone, but I didn't need to.
Look, let's stay on topics regarding women and men, shall we? Because we talked to you about this before the break. Andrew Tate, that very controversial male, has made comments about Amanda Holden, the much-loved celebrity who has posed in a bikini, posted these photos of herself on holiday. She's 52 years old. I'm going to say she looks absolutely incredible. If she wants to post a photo of herself in a bikini, and I'm not even going to say if her husband approves, because who cares about that? But if she wants to do it, that's what she's chosen to do. Andrew Tate tweeted a reply to that saying, quote, "You are a wife and a mother, and you are far past a teenager. There is no need for this post." I would argue there is no need for that comment, but of course it's Andrew Tate we're talking about here. Kevin, no surprises?
No, well, look, Amanda Holden can go on holiday and post a photograph. He's under house arrest and can't go on holiday. Maybe he's just jealous, isn't he? I mean, look, he's a vile, horrible bloke.
I didn't actually think about that, actually.
He's vile and horrible. And there we are. If you post a picture of yourself, you're going to get some comments flack coming back.
Yeah.
But of course, look, he is just vile. He's just a misogynist. That's it.
Like, I think Amanda's problem is just she does look great, but you know she also has. How do I put this nicely? She's filled with more plastic than Tupperware. That being said, when you post pictures like that of yourself online, you will get comments. It's the truth. Now, I have no problem with her posting that because, again, she looks better than I do. Arguably, her body is. She's far more disciplined with her diet and physically. But listen, this is par for the course. I think she should be concerned about being able to move parts of her face than parts of a very tight, taut body.
No shame in the surgery.
No shame.
No shame.
No shame. Listen,
This is literally like, I feel like I'm on these women.
The goal is not to look crazy. I have no problem with doing enhancing, tucking, nipping. You don't want to look crazy. When you can't move your face, you look crazy. So that's what I'll say there. But look, her body looks fantastic.
I mean, she looks great. Like, whether...
like her body, yeah, neck down, yeah.
She looks great. And also, I agree, Andrew Tate is an awful man. And we shouldn't really be, you know, women get a lot of comments about their physical appearance. And that's often why they feel the need and the pressure to go onto the knife, to have these procedures in order to look and feel young and feel accepted. I think if there's people going out there and sharing pictures of their body with all of their flaws and everything out to see, we should be encouraging that. And yeah, of course, you're going to get negative comments because some people are idiots.
No, I don't think
we should be supporting one another.
I don't think the response to insecurity would be to seek validation online. I understand that there is pressure for women to look a certain way, but I do think it's a testament to the fact that...
Well, it's an interaction, isn't it? It's about your relationship with yourself and with other people.
Value strangers' comments on that shouldn't be a barometer for your
but we should be
self-esteem.
able to say, like, look, here's an example of a woman showing her body in a way that is proud and like she's happy with it, and like we should be happy for her that she's happy with her body.
As the talking bloke here, can I just say the man under house arrest doesn't speak for the majority.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
That's a given.
So wait, you're not under house arrest?
No, I'm free. Mr. Tate can't.
Let's turn the considerable brains in this studio to matters a little bit more serious than just talking about bodies. We could talk about body parts all day, I know, but let's talk about another story that headlined a lot of the newspapers today. It's regarding this British man, David Hunter. He was freed in Cyprus after being sentenced for manslaughter. He killed his wife, 76 years old. He had already spent 19 months in custody. It's an absolutely tragic story, this. His wife, Janice Hunter, 74, died of asphyxiation at their retirement home in Cyprus back in December 2021. Now, he wasn't sentenced on murder, so no premeditation is what the court decided. And they decided to release him basically on compassionate grounds here. The judge in Cyprus actually talking about the fact that love played such a huge part in this. Janice had a rare type of blood cancer and was in a lot of pain. And it obviously brings to mind this complicated debate about euthanasia. Cyprus, will remind ourselves, is a Greek Orthodox country, which makes this incredibly tough to consider and very different from the considerations we have here in the UK. But Kevin, I mean, do you think this will reignite debates about assisted dying? Because in Europe, it is allowed in some countries.
It is. It's not allowed in the UK. It certainly isn't in Cyprus, which is socially conservative. I think it's a debate we we do need, because you sometimes condemn people to live, and they want to end their life. And certainly in the UK, if you've got the money and the organisation, you can go to Switzerland, Dignitas, you're okay. Your family won't be prosecuted for taking you out and bringing you back. In fact, a friend of mine went and ended her life because she didn't want the grisly end with MS that was ahead of her. And those who returned, who had taken her there was no action taken against them. But I think we've just got to address it. Because if you love somebody and they're asking you to help them end their suffering and their agony, it must be an awful dilemma. But you will want to help them and you will want to carry out their wishes.
I think the thing is, we do have this conversation regularly in the UK about euthanasia, which I think is a good thing. Obviously, you don't want the extreme of what's going on in Canada, for instance, where you could argue that people are being given euthanasia as an option too easily. Yeah. I think the issue here is, obviously, the court has decided that it wasn't murder, premeditated murder, it was manslaughter. But when you're talking about it in the context of euthanasia, the issue is when you ask to die for assisted suicide, in countries that allow this, there is a threshold you must meet to be sure that you're of sound mind. Now, obviously, the person that would testify to this, I don't know if she left a letter or anything like that, is not alive to be assessed by someone other than the person who's trying to get off this charge of murder. So I think that's the issue here, is the fact that he said, obviously, she wanted it, but, it's not just the fact that she wanted it. Has it been ascertained that she was of sound mind to say that she wanted it?
This is why, this often happens with things that people need or want which are made illegal. It's the boundary between something that's regulated and accessible versus something that's illegal becomes, the problem. Because if you had a system in which there was assisted dying that was regulated, that you were made sure that, for example, people weren't being put under pressure by their families for inheritance or under pressure by medical associations or
if they have all their mental faculties intact. It's really difficult.
You have a system which is regulated. If you just basically say people are allowed to kill people when they are asked to do so, that's obviously not a feasible framework.
When my dad was on the way out, I wished we could have helped him 3 months out. If it had been a dog or a cat, we wouldn't have allowed him to suffer the way he had to.
Yeah, but a dog or a cat fundamentally holds different value to a human being. Like, a human life is more valuable than a chicken.
It is
fundamentally.
But that is why we shouldn't have allowed him to suffer.
Well, yeah, I understand that point. I think in this particular case, it's more of just the fact that the person who would testify to her own sound mind is no longer here, and there's a vested interest for this man to not be in prison for murder. It's a capacity to choose,
Grace, you brought up. Is it a hallmark of civilised society? I'm not saying that the countries that don't have this in place are not civilised, but is it a debate that should be had?
I think it is, because, this what is the difference between a cat and a dog and a person? Like, we have decision-making capabilities and, a conscious understanding of our own suffering, not just the suffering itself, but the fact that we are likely to continue to experience it, which is what often makes things so terrible for people.
We brought that back to a vaguely serious conversation. I'm very impressed. Grace, Esther, Kevin, thank you very much for joining me.